because that roof is sitting above your main roof line, council want to know about it. That's it. G'day guys, welcome to the MTDC Lounge. This is a podcast that breaks down everything you need to know about designing and building your ultimate home and what to expect. Whether you're a DIY renovator, a budding developer, or everything in between, we'll dive into the building journey, touching on what to expect, what's next, and how to go about it. We'll hear from a heap of experienced consultants and trades about all aspects. So let's get stuck in. Welcome to the lounge. G'day guys, and thanks for joining us again on another day on MTDC Lounge. You're here with Matt, and today we've got a client, Jaynell. How you going?
Good, thanks, Matt.
Good. Thanks for coming out. You've come in with a bunch of docs, and I'm really excited to go through it with you. And I guess you've come to us and you've reached out to us because you wanted to have a chat about your whole process and everything that's kind of going on. There's a lot. So talk me through it. Where did it all begin, and how did you become here?
Okay, so after Dad died, Mum had already died, I bought that family home, and it needed a lot of things done, roof done. I probably didn't need to do a brand new kitchen. I probably could have renovated it or gotten a flat pack from Bunnings. Sure. Anyway, I didn't. Yeah. Bathroom definitely needed to be done. And then, so there's an old veranda which had some cement rot and in it. It wasn't too bad, I suppose, but I thought I'll take that out because that was shaped in a bit of a boat as though it was a sailing, because it's sort of on the waterfront, sailing up the lake. And it was sort of Dad had done the house sort of like that. Anyway, it needed to come down, and while that was happening, I thought I might as well extend it to the end and then put a veranda at the front, which it did do. So that was all okay, except there was one thing. When they were doing the plans, they'd said there was an underneath space, and I thought I'd like that covered in. I thought that was going to be a room. Not knowing enough about it, I didn't realise that when they said, because I said, I can store things in there at the, meantime, I can have boats and, extra stuff that I've got upstairs, not thinking that there was, I had no idea that there was this 2.4 as a livable space, thinking, height, and because also had a bathroom, a toilet and a shower, an old toilet and shower that Dad had for the laundry. So anyway, it got built, but in the meantime, I found out it was going to be only 2.1 metres or something underneath that new area. So that was a shame because...
it can't be considered as a livable space.
Yeah, it can't be lived as a livable space, and probably also reduces the price of the house, if it was ever going to get resold. I don't know whether that's, how right it is, but someone said it could be, up to $300,000 by the time you have another bathroom and, if I fixed up the bathroom and that. So that's the first problem that I had. But I don't know why it could have just been dug out that little bit deeper at the time, because it's already getting dug out and made it a bit deeper. So that's something that was a problem for me. And so I can't really use that for a bedroom. I can only use that as, maybe
space.
Yeah, storage space or games room or something, I suppose. So that's something that, I wouldn't have minded knowing about beforehand. So anyway, there was the veranda. I got that tiled. There was some problems with the fall. So anyway, now that veranda has to come down.
This one, the one that's been built, the one on top of that?
Yeah, that's right. So there's a bit of problem with the fall. So anyway, it's better just to take it down, and this time I'll just extend it the full length of the house, and as a veranda. And then I thought, well, I got some plans drawn up to have a slab underneath, and then make sure that space this time is going to be 2.4 once they put all the fittings in there. and then a veranda upstairs, which the draftsman has suggested I need to have cement because you can have leakage.
Over the livable space or over your storage space, yeah.
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 And then over that, there's a roof.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be an opened area, and it has slats to the side for privacy. But downstairs, I definitely want to make it this time so it's a proper 2.4, and at some stage I've got some glass from one of the rooms here that I was going to keep. They're all glass windows and doors, so I was going to keep that, and maybe further down the track either sell that or close that area in downstairs. But I need to make sure it's 2.4 when I put all the lighting and, I don't know, cement ceiling for that bottom room. I would have thought I could just paint it and look all right, but others have suggested I should put padding or something there.
Yeah. Well, there's a few things that you've kind of touched on, and like there's some super important some points. First off, how did you find the cement right that you mentioned downstairs before you started the job? Did you?
It wasn't downstairs. It was the veranda.
Oh, was it
to the side where that top room is?
Yep.
Hang on, where's the top room? Let's see here. Yeah, this room in here. That used to be the veranda.
Right. Okay.
And you could just, the cement looked a bit gnarled, and I was told that it was probably cement rot.
Yep. Yep. So yeah,
it was just all brick. It was a brick facade.
Yep. Facade.
Yeah,
facade. No. So okay, great. Okay, so you've noted that there was a bit of cement rot through there. We've ripped it down. You've gone and had a crack at enclosing it and trying to use the space underneath it. However, 100%. The rule is that there's a portion of the room that can't be any more or any less than 2100 to make it a livable space. Now, when you're looking at a design or your house, if you have your ceiling underneath the ceiling, there'd usually be some joists or there'd be some sort of flooring system underneath it. Usually with the basement space, you'd end up having like almost like a beam, or it's a C-channel beam or an I-beam or something like that. It will sit there and support underneath that flooring system, particularly if it's not inside. Now, what happens is if you put the sheeting underneath, that beam or supporting structure, what happens is because that ceiling comes down, that full amount of that beam lowers that floor height to 2100, and that is normal. So that would be normal. Now, if you didn't put the ceiling underneath those beams or underneath those structures, there are some arguments that you could make that says, hey, most of the room downstairs is 2400. Now, knowing that we've already gone ahead and done most of the work here anyway, and you've got that ceiling underneath that structure, and you're shooting for digging all of it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I want it dug out. I was told by the draftsman that you can put it's like in the cement underneath the top veranda cement slab, you can like run a pathway for electricity if it's wiring has to go there.
Yeah,
I forgot what they said. It was like a tunnel or something, and the wires can go through there, and you can have your lights come from it.
Like a conduit.
Yeah, conduit type thing.
So yes, you can run a conduit through. There are other methods to doing a deck over a livable space or over an inside space. The dangers of obviously doing a deck or an open space above a livable space is 100% leakage. But there are waterproofing exercises they can do. You can go tiling. There's a whole bunch of things that you can.
I was probably going to have to tile it.
Yeah.
Because it's got to fall this time.
Away from
it's
the
got to
house.
have I've forgotten how many millimeters fall.
Well, it's a 1 in 80. I'm pretty 1 in 80 or 1 in 100 that you have to have a fall to a floor waste. Or if you've got an open deck,
it would be an open deck. Oh, it's got a roof though. But, it's like a ceiling to it, a roof
You just got to
over
have it
it.
falling away from the house. So
Yeah.
that's fine. So there's threshold rules and things like that. So as long as you've got like a step up of 50 mil between your patio and your house, and your tiles are falling away and all that kind of business, like we organise all of that, and that's not a problem. And any good builder or any good tiler will be able to knock it out for you anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, 2100 head height definitely does become a problem. It does put you into a space where it's not a livable area and can't be considered as anything else.
Yeah.
Now, what do you want to use the space for? If you can bring the ceiling height up to 2400, what would you ultimately like to use it for?
Oh, well, it can be used for anything, games room or whatever. This is for the new veranda. If I take the old veranda that's that shape, like it's a triangular shape, take that off, put a new veranda at the front, and then downstairs, it's got to get certified just as it is with the ceiling, the veranda, the slab floor downstairs. But later on, I'm hoping I could, I don't know whether could use it for a room, or because it's got a shower toilet downstairs as well, and then there's another room that is only 2.1 meters, so they can use it as a study or something. Just family room.
So
I don't know what council likes to know about.
Council like to know about everything. They like to know about everything, but so the hard and fast rule is 2100 is too small for a livable space. 2400 is your basic size. Having a look at these plans and the elevations here, it shows that the head height, the finished floor level of the porch to your top of ceiling is that 2400. Shows that it doesn't take into account your slab or your step up inside to make that 2400, which is interesting.
Maybe that's in those other details.
Yeah. So so having a look.
Got some more details from the engineer.
Perfect. So ultimately, you got your footings. It's showing here that you've got your footings and all your slab set outs and all your bits and pieces, which is great. We can see that. Okay, and with this set of plans here, this is a square deck. This is the rectangular deck that goes straight across, and this is your triangular deck.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's got to go.
That's what's already there. Okay, and so assuming that we get rid of this one and put in the square deck, because this ended up blowing out for you, didn't it? It ended up. So because this got redone and you wanted to rip all of it back up, it ended up costing you $20,000, was it? To redo it? Is that?
No, it's way more than that.
Way more than that?
What? Yeah. That new plans with the veranda all the way across?
Yeah.
Oh no, the quotes that got was well over that.
Yeah, right. Okay. So and so what was the $20,000 or so?
Extra 20,000 if with some adjustments.
Right.
To plans.
Right. And that's for the engineer.
Well, actually,
and the planner.
probably more like 25 because there's also GST. You got to figure out the GST.
Yeah.
Can I just make a point?
Yeah.
If anyone was building,
just
when they do get the plans, especially, well, I shouldn't say being a female, but I just didn't know about all these details. And so when they say, this is going to be such and such room, always make sure if you think that you might be able to use that space later as a bedroom or something, say what height does that mean? So if they labelled it as storage, they, I would have just thought it was a room. That's what I thought. So I'd be able to convert it to whatever.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't going to be a garage or something. Yeah. So that's, I would like to say that that's important thing to get clear before you even sign the contract and, find out exactly what the heights are of the room.
Well, that's a great point. Council is all about semantics. If you can talk to council and say, hey, look, this room is going to be a particular room.
Yeah.
As you've unfortunately found out, you can't call a room a livable space, bedroom, gym, living room, anything to do with a livable space,
Yeah.
you can't call it that if it's under 2,400.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it makes things incredibly difficult. And yes, a part of the system is to potentially name it a storage space, and then if you were to use it as anything else, then that's not how it should have been used. And unfortunately, that
Yeah, I didn't realise it couldn't be converted. Like, I
yeah,
was just literally meaning, I can store some stuff in there. What else am I going to do with that space at the moment? But, it would have been super handy because that's all money and also value for the house.
yeah,
There was no big problem to make it if it's dug out already because there's a big cement wall over
down
there.
here, yep.
Yeah, and so it could have been an extra 0.3 of a metre, I suppose. I don't see why that was such a big problem. But anyway, that's where I'm up to. So that's that downstairs room, and I do want to figure out what I'm going to do there. But
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. What is going on with that space here? Because at the moment you've got like a bit of a drop edge beam. It looks to be about 600 mil. There should definitely be some stairs there. Is that under the house? Is that a door?
yeah, that's underneath the house. That's where it was all open space underneath the veranda.
Gotcha.
That old veranda that got removed. And then there's the new room upstairs, the sunroom. And then now I've got to take the old veranda off and I'm just going to extend it the full length.
This triangle space.
Yeah, I can use that for the dogs. The dogs can live out the back rather than the front.
And how did you
walking past?
How did you go through council, and how did you find the process through, I guess, the certification? Has it been certified yet? Have you got the occupation certificate?
Oh yeah, I got the occupational certificate for all of that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And okay. So
yeah, the certified was good. They'd I don't know. Sometimes I think they'd come out and I wasn't there, but they'd see the builder and
ask the questions.
Ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. So at the moment, as it stands in council, you've been approved for this subfloor space that's considered as a storage, and then you've got like this Queenslander room that has some glass doors around it, and I guess it is, for a lack of a better word, a Queenslander room.
Yeah, I just decided to glass that in because I thought, that can be a little sit room, but there's been lots of problems.
Sure.
So now I'm down to getting new plans to take that old veranda off, and then, whatever. Where's that other plan?
Just here.
Yeah, so all the way along the front and just start again. But I do specifically want to make sure. Oh, that's another thing. This top veranda, I asked is, in case I ever want to make that a room, the height from the veranda up to the roof, over the veranda, to make sure that is going to be 2.4 as well, plus the space underneath is 2.4. But I've got to be careful with that room downstairs. Like you're saying, you got to make sure it's deep enough so they can fit in that ceiling underneath the veranda.
So there's a few things here that I'd suggest to pay attention to. So having this square patio balcony situation is perfectly fine. Now, having a bit of a look at your site plan. I had it here a second ago. Having a look at your site plan. Where'd it go? Here we are. So your north is actually facing away from like over here. So your north is up the top. So I've noticed that you've got a 5-degree fall towards the south, and this is where your water is.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, there's a few things design wise and I guess consideration wise, particularly if you're going to consider turning it into a room or a livable space or closing it in.
Underneath, you mean?
Or even above.
Or even above, yeah. I'd have to put another veranda out in.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, you've got enough space on your block.
Lots of space.
There is. So when you've got a block like this, the major things that you really need to pay attention to are, most people need to pay attention to, is floor space ratio or the site coverage. You've got plenty of that. So whatever you're looking at doing, as long as the reports and all your information falls right, there's no issue with what you're asking for. Your thing that we really need to pay attention to though is if you do consider, or if you are considering to close this in at a later date or whatever have you, your eave height will be different to your interior ceiling height. always, and then what you do with your flyover roof or your roof structure that you will be doing on the outside would be it would be consistent with your extension.
Yeah.
So to make sure that your eave height is the right height, your ceiling height, if you were to ever close it in, is the right height for an enclosed space, or to have it as the minimum space, what would happen is you'd need to make sure that under eave is 2,400 at the very least.
Yeah.
Either that, or be prepared that those eaves would have to be cut off and you'd put a new ceiling in there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2/3 of the room has to be 2.4 or something, doesn't it?
That's right.
And then the rest can be a little bit less, like it'd be 2 point how much?
2.1. Yeah.
Oh, 2.1.
Yeah, so down to 2.1, and that's right.
Well, that's what happened to that sunroom. I think the majority of that's another point. That was put down as just, what was it put down? Sunroom or something, I can't remember. And so it wasn't actually showing up as though it's a livable space. But because 2/3 of that new sunroom that I had done was actually at 2.4, it was able to be, changed on the plans to a livable room, because that's another problem. I would have 2 spaces upstairs and downstairs that weren't actually livable height, and so it makes a lot of difference to, 1, the price that you can get for it if ever you sell, and 2, whether you could, rent it out. But yeah, that's the thing. 2/3 of it was under the eaves.
And under 20 or 2021, or sorry, under 2,400. So there's actually so I'm so glad I've got you on here, Jaynell, because there's a few things that you've mentioned that it's actually really quite dangerous, and a lot of people fall into the same trap. The livable space, or renting out a space in a house like this, is a common thing, particularly for the cost of living and having a growing family and all the bits and pieces. If you put a livable space under there, or if you go to rent it out, you have to include a kitchen, or you have to include like a secondary laundry or something like that. What that comes with is, 1, it comes with extra contributions, because that's a dual occupancy. The moment you start renting that out or look at it like it's a rentable space, it's a dual occupancy. Dual occupancy comes with the contribution fees, which sting, like proper sting, like they're $8,000 to $15,000.
What's the contribution fee?
That's the nice thing that council like to call a charge to a homeowner that wants to add an extra living area. They say it's there to contribute to the upkeep of the roads and the sewer lines and all of the civils. God love them, right? So yeah, you're looking at about $8,000 to $15,000 depending on the situation. But that's actually not your biggest problem by putting a livable space underneath it. Once you do a livable space underneath your main house, you actually change the class of that space underneath it. If it was 24, let's say in a perfect world it was 2,400, everything's fine, and then you turn around and go, right, I want to put a kitchen in there, I want to put a small oven in there, I want to rent it out. I'm really close to the water. Everybody does it. It makes a great idea.
Or you can just have it for a family member.
The dangerous thing is that if once you put a kitchen in there, or you put kitchenette's fine. It's probably clear to say kitchenette's fine. No oven. If you have an oven in there, it becomes the dual lock. And if you put an oven in there and you have that livable space underneath the house, it becomes a class 2 home. And what a class 2 home or a class 2 is stacked living. It's no longer a class 1. And yeah. So and what happens is, when it's a class 2 design, a whole different world starts to trigger. So you have to have a specific licensed designer to do the designs for it. You have to have a specific builder to do the building. There has to be specific fire maintenance to the subfloor or to the first floor. It gets pretty crazy. So from something that just to make it incredibly simple, for the case of one oven, you can easily chuck an extra two zeros on the whole planning process. So it's crazy. So don't put an oven in there.
So just a kitchenette with microwave and a couple of little grill things or something.
As long as nobody's living in there and it's an office, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And what about one of those outdoor barbecues, that you can get from Bunnings or something, as how they have it all set up like it's a grill and it's a gas thing, though. You wouldn't be able to have that in there. It's got to be open space.
Yeah, so a cooktop like a cooktop or an oven is where they mainly draw the line. So if you kitchenette's fine, an office fine, gym is fine, absolutely not a problem. But the moment that it starts to be considered that someone's living there, class 2. A class 2 dwelling is a nightmare. Some builders, or a lot of the builders that I work with, have pulled out because the whole process is way too difficult.
And so you can't just have it as like say you had children or something and you had your parents living underneath there. If I don't have parents that are alive, but if they were and they were living underneath there, you'd only have a kitchenette and a bathroom, and that would be all right.
Perfectly fine.
But once you start putting a proper oven
and making it self-contained, that's where it becomes a problem. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can't have stairwells in there. There's a whole fire resistance thing that has to go on.
Because I do have the stairwell. Yeah, it was just an idea, just playing ahead, because you don't want to go through this whole wasted space basically downstairs. There is there's the steps down into this room.
Absolutely, a great reason why coming in and talking to me about it is amazing, because it's a common thing. It's absolutely common. Everybody doesn't. It's you're not in the industry. You're not expected to know.
No.
So you don't know that people buy places like this really close to the water. Awesome opportunity to do something like an Airbnb situation.
Yeah.
They go to a livable space, or they go and do like a self-contained flat underneath the house, and then it's considered a class 2. It costs them a fortune, and every designer should know it. Every designer should know it. Some might not.
Yeah.
But if a designer grabbed it and they weren't aware that it was going to change to a class 2, and then they go to submit it to the council and things like that, council or whoever go to assess it will say, this is stack living. This is a class 2 design. And then they'll go, we can't accept that. This needs to be run through the appropriate channels. And then there has to be extra reports. And then there has to be BCA reports, fire report, all of it. It gets astronomically expensive.
Well, I do have some old stairs. They're already there, but it leads down. But then I put a glass door that locks. So, it's completely separate. I'll just have to use that downstairs as a rompus room or something then.
A studio and a gym are perfectly fine. Like a teenager's retreat, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having an ensuite or a kitchenette. That's totally fine.
I do have a little what's a space like that where I've set up a sink. The sink is all right.
Sink's fine.
That's good. It's got a bench top and just a microwave,
Perfectly
to make extra things like a bar or something.
Wet bar's fine.
There is a shower and a toilet, but that was the old one that Dad did have for, work clothes and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, it's council's just drawing their line at an oven.
Right.
Because you're just inviting people to live there.
To know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Yeah. So that's an excellent point, and thank you so much for bringing that up. So okay, what there are a few things that I'd like and I can do. I would probably change the direction of the fall of this roof, and I would change that to not a 5 degree. I'd probably change that to a 1 degree, because you're facing south. You'd get those southerlies that can be quite intense.
Yeah, I do get southerlies.
But if you change your roof fall to fall towards the house, you would open that view up a lot more. And then if you go to enclose it at a later date, you're not going to have such a hard time enclosing it, and then you don't have to worry. The thing about falling away from the house is that if you ever put a ceiling inside it, your ceiling can only get as high as your lowest point.
Oh, okay. So then
So
what height is that? That's
that's
2 point.
that's a good question. That's a good question. It should be on the plans. So it's mentioning here that it's roughly 2,600.
Oh, okay.
It's roughly 2,600.
And with a bit of a fall, that might take it to 2.4.
Possibly. So it completely depends on what you want to do with your structure and how you want to deal with it eventually.
And then if I ever put a sale, I'm not going to do it, but I just thought for resale or whatever. So then if it does fall to 2.4 and then you put the ceiling there and it's got to be the same as the 2.4, then actually it drops down even further and then it's not a livable space anymore.
It depends on what. Yeah, it depends on. Ultimately, it will completely depend on what your roofing structure will land.
I'm just happy having some
Yeah.
lights sitting there. You
Yeah.
can get nice lights.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this design here has got like the roof extender brackets, which is perfect. That's exactly how we would do it. I would switch it. I would just switch the fall. One, you'd get a better view of the water, and you don't feel like you're enclosed. And two, if you were to fill out that space, you're not going to be affected by what's going on out there at all.
Oh, okay.
So that's fine. The flooring system for your balcony should probably be paid attention to if you eventually want to turn it into a livable area upstairs.
What was that?
Your flooring system for your balcony.
Probably just be tiles.
Yeah. So a fun fact is if you're going to put tiles on your deck anyway, your engineering has to be taken into account for it. So the engineering would be adjusted to suit a tile balcony, because the tile balcony would be 100% heavier than a timber deck.
But it's cement. I was suggested it's a cement floor on the top and a cement floor underneath. I thought
so you're not in a livable area. Like you're not over a livable area here at all. So it's like, I mean, you have that choice. So it's been noted here that it's 150 mil slab, which is great. That's a concrete slab that hasn't been noted, and I dare say that would be towards the engineer's detail. I mean, you have options. You have options, and we can definitely organize something.
Yeah.
It's ultimately what your goal is. So in terms of getting this done by us, we would go through our normal process. I'd send my guys out there. We'll do a full measure. We'll get everything that as it sits right there and then. We'll get proper heights. We'll draw it as existing, and then we would rip in very very similar to this one.
Yeah. I think I don't know. They said something about tiling that top floor just to make sure. But I guess I could leave it cement if I'm not going to do anything downstairs. At the moment, I could leave it, but it was suggested. I think it might be on the plan somewhere that I was supposed to tile it.
Yeah. So we've got Bondeck here. We've got Bondeck here, which is fine.
What's that?
So it's. So what is
that tiles?
Well, no, that's the flooring system.
Oh, okay.
That's the flooring system. So you have your Rio running through it there, and it's just showing here you've got your stop board at the end, and you have and inside that you've got a bit of a drip groove. So if there's any water, it just kind of comes in and drops in without kind of sitting there and hanging out.
Otherwise, if I want to make a room downstairs, I'd have to have it cement. So I'd have to have it tiled and bring the glass in by 100 millimeters or something to make it look nice, rather than at the ends, like end of the veranda, and bring it in 100 millimeters. Is that correct?
That's right. So you don't want it to clash with your current roof system, and the only way to do that is to step it in. So you've got
That's the old one.
Yeah. So you've
Old one.
So yeah. So what I'm looking at, see these dashed lines here is your ceiling.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm looking at. Oh, that's what I'm trying to work out for you.
That's those internal steps.
Yeah.
Old ones that have been there since 1959.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It goes straight down to the underfloor. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I don't know what to do. I've yeah, I don't understand it enough.
No, well, look, that's what we're here for. It's what we do. We take all of this information and we put it all together so you can understand it in a nice, neat way.
Right.
It's important to find out what you're working with and how you're working with it. And this would be all noise. This would be all noise to you. Like you're not like, and I think it's important to know that you shouldn't. You're not expected to know what's going on. You should have comfort that you're being looked after, and the people who are doing the job are doing the right thing by you.
Yeah, I don't understand the structural things. I just know, learning from my past mistakes, that you've got to find out if it's going to be a livable space, 2.4. Because otherwise then you're stuck with this thing that you think, what can I do with it?
Well,
and where it could have been perfectly fine as a guest bedroom or something.
Yeah.
Guests come, friends.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's okay. So all is not lost. Like you've got most of the details here, which is perfectly fine. We can work with that. You've got your ideas about how you want to extend the deck. That's also great. In terms of design and I guess process, yeah, it would be just our standard process. You've got most of the information here anyway. We could almost work with what you've got here. I just want to do some check measures and I want to make sure that the details or the information is correct. So, well, obviously when we do our documentation, we know it's going to be right. Like these are good plans. They're clean. You can kind of see what's going on. But the situation was, it was going to be another $20,000 to $25,000 to go through the process again. Is that right?
Well, way more. What, for the new veranda
for the planning?
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was way more than that.
Still, wow.
Times that by, well, it depends what quote you get, but there's huge change. I've got no idea how they work it out. I wish Fair Trading had a system where you could, price check or something.
Yeah.
But oh no, well over.
So
I'm talking 100.
Right. So these plans here, these haven't been submitted to council?
Oh no, they've all been through council. Well, I'm already up to the certifier. I just need to get the builder and get it done.
Right.
But I can't afford. I can't afford this extra $20,000 on top of what, one of the quotes was. I can't afford this extra 20 plus you got the GST. So the whole thing plus an extra GST, which is 10. So you're already paying GST for all for all the materials, plus you're paying GST for, I don't know, probably for the plans, plus then GST on top of the build. It's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately,
how it is.
Business owners don't get to even see that GST.
It goes off to council.
Yeah. So, but okay. So these have been approved by DA. You've got to go through the certifier now.
I've got certifier. So he's waiting to come and have a check of all the build.
Right.
I just have to get.
So what is costing you $20,000? What's the $20,000?
Extra $20,000.
Yeah.
That was from some extra details from the engineer.
Right. So the engineer's costing you an extra $20,000.
Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say he's costing me that, but just from some extra details that some people wanted. It was going to be extra money.
Yeah,
it was already up to over 100.
Yeah, which will hurt. It's gonna sting. You've already paid a lot of money to get your enclosure
and all the rest,
and all your bits and pieces.
But maybe there might be other like just a builder, one person who can do it for a better price, or, you know, sometimes going with these big companies, you know, they've got to make a profit and pay everyone, I suppose. And then when they've got a lot of people, then they've got to pay extra money. I don't know how it works. I just need to find a good price so I can go ahead. Or one that I can afford.
Sure.
Couldn't afford the...
How far off do you think you are from the certification of the plans? Is the certifier asking for further details in terms of engineering, or is there?
No, it's all... Well, it's all been okayed through council. And he's got the DA, the construction certificate, notice of determination, date of determination. It's been going on since January this year. I just need to get the builder and get it built.
Okay.
And then he can come and check all the, like the slabs and all the rest of it. So that's what I'm up to, just getting the builder basically.
Sure. Is he okay with it? So and he's okay with these as a certification plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got all the things. He'd given the okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, what I can do for you there, Jaynell, is like I've got a number of great builders that will be happy to give you a hand. To absolutely have a look at it.
Yeah.
In terms of us giving you a hand any further, like you've already gone through the process. Like you've already suffered. You've already suffered. You're already there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if your certifier is okay to accept these, and he's already ready to do all the approvals, and he's ready to book in all of his inspections, perfect. We just need to find someone that's going to look after you to build it.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely achievable. I'll after today, what I'll do is I'll put you in touch with a couple of my known and loved, and at the very least they can have a bit of a sticky beak at it, and they can let you know what they think.
The other thing is, I thought of reducing the price, but apparently plans got to all be changed, is just have one of those sail type, you know, the sails.
For the roof structure over the top?
For the roof.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But I think it can't be certified because it's not on the plans. The plans have got a set roof.
So you can ask the certifier to remove the roof from the construction certificate.
Oh, can I? Didn't know that.
You can just say, look, I don't want to put that on, and I want to leave that off.
Just leave it off. But then the plans aren't certified.
No, you would ask the certifier to remove the roof structure over the deck, and then you just say, can you just please certify the deck? Okay. And that should.
Didn't know whether that'd bring the price down mightily. Instead, it's just having like the sale
for the construction. Absolutely, it would. Absolutely, it would save you a fortune. So I
did wanted a space for the dogs so that they can live out there, and it can get pretty wild, especially in winter. That's why I thought, ceiling might be good, and then I can get those, you know, those shutters that come down. I forgot what they're called.
So the blinds. So you can get So you can install blinds. There are a few things that you might have a little bit of a hard time with because you've got a flyover roof. Enclosing a flyover roof to a deck is always tricky, particularly if it's going to be angled, because you can't. You could, but it's tricky. But your blinds always come down straight.
Oh, right.
So when the blinds come down straight, but you've got an angled roof, there's some systems that you have to put in place so your blind will get housed appropriately, and then they'll come down. Either way, at some point there will be a gap, whether it's behind the flyover roof attaching to the main structure or the main roof, or on the sides.
Okay.
There will be an air gap there. There is other construction methods that you can do that doesn't involve a flyover roof. You can attach it to the fascia or to the gutter system. I've got to have a look at your roof properly. But there is, like, I mean, you've got space and ability to do that with your system that you have available already. Yeah. You can do that. It's there are ways, but in terms of saving costs and in terms of trying to get your deck built, I would probably talk to your certifier and just mention, hey, I just want to remove this roof structure, and take that off the certification plans, and he should be fine with just the deck.
And you know the sales that I'm talking about. I got a great one at the front.
Yep.
That really shade the veranda, but I can put those up. It doesn't.
It's a temporary structure.
Oh, okay.
So it can be brought up, it can be brought down and brought up. So yeah, definitely check with your certifier first. Everybody kind of reads rules a little bit different, but I'd definitely take it to your certifier, talk to him about what you want to do and what you want to change it to. He will give you the best direction.
Okay.
If you would like us to do any changes to the plans to suit that, happy to do that. Your certifier might turn around and say, okay, well, if that's what you want, it might be a construction certificate modification or a CC mod,
All right.
and you would just remove it.
Huh.
So
then you get my veranda and get some cover there.
That's right. Particularly if you're just looking for a shade sail to go over the top of the deck, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, just when that when the southerly busters bring the rain in, it really pounds through that area.
Comes in sideways, absolutely.
But like I said, I was hoping to let the dogs, they can run up and down the steps to do their business here and then live here mostly if I'm away at work or something, rather than having it at the front of the house. But
yes, enclosing the deck will be tricky, particularly if you're going to do a flyover roof, sorry. But there are alternative methods, and particularly if you're going to be quite cost conscious right now, you can do the roof at a later date. Just keep in mind though, if you do take the roof structure off your construction certificate right now, you would have to reapply your construction certificate, or you'd have to reapply for a construction certificate to put the roof back on.
But it doesn't need to go to council.
It would.
I'd have to go back to council and then put that roof back on, or send the same plans in.
Well, it depends on how they want to look at it. So because that roof is sitting above your main roof line, council want to know about it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So that's right. So if you get your roof structure here, you take it off and say, I don't want to do that anymore. Then if you were to go back and say and get your construction certificate, you would do a modification, or you'd reapply for a construction certificate to put that roof on.
Okay. Well, that is an alternative, isn't it?
Well, it saves you money right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Thank you.
This is...
I've learned a lot, even just from sitting here.
No.
I wish that when people design things, they could explain all this so that you can run through it.
Yeah. Look, I completely agree.
This isn't going to be any good, or this is good, or whatever. Yep. I
completely agree. That's why we're doing the podcast. So everybody can kind of find out learn from people's mistakes.
Great service.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for listening to this week's app of The Lounge. To make sure you don't miss out on the next episode, hit subscribe. We'd love to get the message out to more homeowners like you. Make sure you leave a rating and a review, and we'll see you on the next app.